And welcome back to the Leather It Podcast. It's episode 2, and I am joined by the 3 other semi-finalists, or at least the representatives of their team. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have WakadaChewie. In the top left, we have Kevin. And in the bottom left, we have FatmanGandhi from Phantom Affidity. Say hello, boys.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Always the most awkward part of the podcast. So I've brought one person from each of the 4 teams that have joined the semi-final. Obviously, me representing Centurion, and my rival WakadaChewie in the mid lane for 7 Deadly Sins, which will be an exciting matchup. So the first question I've got is not for you, but for the other 2 members in the call. How do you reckon that game's going to go?
I don't really know, to be honest. It's probably going to be a close 3 games, I believe, but I have no idea, really, to be honest. Team Leader are a good team. I mean, it's hard to deny that, obviously.
I'm talking Centurion versus 7 Deadly Sins.
Okay.
It's all right, mate. What do you reckon about that one, Kevin?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close match. I mean, Centurion has, I think, probably a couple of the best players, but then again, 7DS has Arbush, so it's going to be, kind of equal. I think in the end, it's probably going to be Centurion if you guys manage to keep Arbush down somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you reckon about that one, Jack?
I mean, I don't know. I think, well, definitely Arbush is, one of our stand-up, if not the stand-up player at the moment for 7DS. But I feel like obviously he's a big part of reasons why we win, because, and a couple of our past games he's managed to get ahead and stuff. But I think everyone else as a whole also brings, like Wilbo in the top lane. If he can definitely, pop off if he's on that Aatrox, as you might have seen against the Phantom Avidity game. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, Gandhi, especially how he can pop off on that Aatrox. So, and I think it'll be interesting to see what happens because it'll just be interesting to see, I guess.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm confident. Of course, it will be. I'm not going to come here and say that we're going to lose. Yeah. I think we'll smash you. I think, to be fair to you, the only lane that you'll win is mid lane. Just to be fair to you, I think you're actually going to tear the shit out of me. But other than that, I can't see having a winning role anywhere else. Because unfortunately, as good as Arbush is, I don't think he can 1v3. And Harshy's not here for me to flame him, but that's exactly what I'd say to him too. It'll be interesting. So, to analyse it a little bit, where would you say is your strongest point of the game? Would it be in the first 10, between 10 to 20, or 20 and after?
Well, I mean, so I think as a general consensus, we've all sort of agreed that we can sort of create leads in the early game, but sometimes we sort of fall down in the mid game a little bit.
Okay.
But we say that our macro is pretty good, I think, and micros plays and stuff are quite good. So that's what keeps us in these games. If we do, get behind in, I can't remember who was against. Is Agratas in Pav's team? That's Pav. Yeah. So that first game we played against each other, Agrata managed to get ahead on the Cho'Gath, 10 kills, but our early game wasn't great in that game, but we managed to pull it around in the end. And so I think that in general, we're just quite a strong team at most points of the game. I don't want to really say too much else.
You don't want to leak it, do you? But yeah.
Yeah, no leaks,
First, a bit of jack of all trades, master of bot lane. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, because for me, it's obvious. I mean, if Byron fucking leaked everything that we've ever done in a scrim with Byron and Cast, so it's fine. We're going to play around bot lane, and then we're going to win in the first 5 minutes, and then that's the end of the game. That's the end of the game. I reckon that's how it's going to go. I reckon the game will be decided in the first 5 minutes. If we're ahead, we'll win, and if we're behind, you'll lose. If we're behind or even, then we'll lose. But I just can't see it as a way that you win. You in top. I reckon it's all on your shoulders personally. Not to put any pressure on you, but to put pressure on you.
Yeah,
I think.
No pressure.
I reckon if you can't demolish me mid lane, if you keep me in mid lane, don't let me roam, I reckon there's not a single chance that you're going to win. If you want
to keep the Ari open, I'm more than happy for you guys to do that.
Mate, you can take the Ari. My Yasuo has been sitting in my back pocket for time.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I've had experience against Yasuo Zazari, so
That was Sirez, wasn't it?
I'm not so good, but
was that Sirez? Was that the second game you guys played?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, last game, yeah, Sirez on the Yasuo. I thought that he didn't do as much as he should have, personally. I'm not trying to flame him or anything, but he was getting to that point where he was doing a lot of damage. Like in that last fight top, I think, remember, he managed to kill 2 of us, I think, before someone shot him down there. So, but by that point, the game was pretty much done anyway because we're attacking the Nexus. So, yeah, that's what worries me about like Yasuo as a champion the most, is that even if you do beat him in an early game, depending on how late the game can go, he can be a really good scaling champ. So
okay.
Yeah, it's still Yasuo. After 40 minutes, when he has his items, it doesn't matter if he was 0-10 or 10-0, he's still going to be that late game threat.
yeah.
So to go to
Definitely.
you, Fatman, then, to kind of pull it back a bit and talk more about Group B, because I've got one guy here from every group, obviously 2 of you from Group B. How would you analyse that group between, just for yourself, Fatman? So obviously...
I mean, to be honest, I would say that, Lotus Gaming, we only played 1 game against them, so, I can't really say... Most people thought they were good, but personally, I didn't really think so, because... mainly because they lagged a whole lot. Like, they paused, I think, was, 15 times in, 20 minutes, which is, it's not a big deal in general, but it was hard to see if they were actually how they were playing, because you kind of get out of sync if you pause a lot in a few seconds, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I think that, they were obviously a pretty strong team. I think they probably also could have, I think they were maybe one of the weaker teams and they were the weakest team in the group, but I think they could also have brought it home, to be honest, I think. But it was a lot harder because they disbanded in pretty much the middle of the shell. So
Yeah.
I can't really. So I said, we won the game pretty hard, but that's mainly just because they lagged and then we pretty much smashed them. I'm guessing because they lagged indirectly, so that's probably why. And then
okay, then to go to that,
they won against 70S, didn't they? In the first shell day, right? Jack?
Yeah, they did.
So it's kind of hard to see, since 70S is obviously, they won both their games, or both their games against us, which we pretty much demolished Lotus. So it's hard to see how good they actually are or how bad they were. Mostly because it's hard because both teams they played against were both pretty good, and they won against one and lost against one. That's what it's why I don't really know, to be honest. But obviously, as everybody probably 70S was pretty much the titan of the game, or the shell for our group. We obviously got demolished indirectly late game, both games. The first game we were ahead, quite a bit, and then Orbis pretty much took it away and carried on, losing for the rest of the game. But I don't really know. I don't remember that much from Tuesday, except the fact that I pretty much got mega smashed. Which, I got ahead to Wilbur. He played really well that game. I obviously maybe didn't play my best, but he's still a really good top laner. And, I don't know, 70S is probably going to be those. Everybody obviously thinks they're a good team, but I think now when there's a lot of hype good teams, they're kind of on the radar, because many of them, a few other members at least, I think, both Jack and Hershey are on 70S now, as they were last split, and IND is coaching them. So they have a lot from last split, pretty much.
So that's interesting. That. So how would you rate Lotus, Jack? Because you played against him. Now for me, I honestly thought they were going to smash it. I thought they would be the top team in that group. I thought they'd go undefeated. And obviously, there was the issue in that game against Pav. So we don't know if that was just ability or if it was just lag. But in that one game that you played against him that you lost, what was it like?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I can't remember too much because it's 2 weeks ago now, I think. So I can't even remember who was on the team or their comp was, but I think in that game we just weren't, fully in the game. So we didn't manage to obviously, pull out as much of a win or a stomp as we might have wanted to. They won the game in that, but there were moments in that game where it looked like we might have can't pull it back a little bit, but I guess they just were too ahead in that game. Like they seemed like a pretty decent team from how I remember them. Like they seemed like they know what they were doing, but I think it was just one of those off things for us. I think more so.
Do you reckon you lost instead of they won, kind of thing?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like if they were still
Okay.
like as a team, I think we 7DS would like to play them again just to see how just to see fully of what it really was in the end.
Yeah.
We scrimmed them a couple times before the shell started, and it kind of felt they had a really good bot lane. What I felt like, or at least a really good AD carry. I don't necessarily remember the support that well, but it felt like they were kind of the old TSM, but then Bjergsen being in bot lane. It was literally the AD carry and 4 supports. The mid lane picked picks like tank supports, tanky mid laners. Top laner picks tanks, jungler picks tanks. It was just let's put as many things in front of them as possible so you can kill the enemy team before we die, basically. And that's kind of how it felt playing against them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was a one-off thing, but that really is how it felt.
I mean, Niall and Cavalis was the bot lane for Lotus, and obviously they both used to play for Centurion in jungle and mid, and so I got to know them both quite a lot. And Niall was like the best player that I think I'd see him in terms of VL at least, because I think he was gold 1, so it was the kind of like he only just fit in anyway. Yeah, he was a phenomenal player. So I can just imagine knowing what Cowlis is like. It was like, I know that Niall can win this. Let's get everything behind him. But fair enough. So that was Group B, and obviously in the end, 7DS took it. Whether if Lotus was still in there might have been a different story, but who knows? You
never know.
You can't look back on the past too much. But Group A, we had Big Sexy on last week. Yeah, had a few choice words. The main thing that I remember he said was that Team Abfart Schnickerdoodle was as good, if not better, than Team Elite. And then they go 0-4 and you go 4-0. So, first off, what's your comment to that? And how do you reckon the rest of the group was? Especially word on Serenity Game and Pegasus, because obviously we've not really heard a lot from them since they've played in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, our team was quite kind of hyped up after the last Ladder Rip episode. We were all just kind of sitting there like, okay, well, apparently we're overrated, so let's just smash them, go 4-0, and prove how overrated we are.
Nice.
So yeah, that it kind of struck a nerve at some people, I guess, and especially with Joe having to kind of leave the team on unfriendly reasons before that, it kind of showed, like, it kind of made everyone really happy to prove that we would actually be the top team in that group, and I'm happy we did it.
Nice. So is there a rivalry there now? Because
A little bit.
You've got to develop these rivalries. It's a Team Elite versus Team Abfart Schnickerdoodle. Shit name, but whatever. I think they're changing it actually, but that'll be interesting. I'd like to see that one. One of the hype points coming into the split. So what about Serenity Gaming? Were they close for you? Because obviously we saw them beat Checkmate Alpha in the run-in to the to face Phantom Affidity in the deciding game for 4th place, or the semi-final spot. Sorry. What do you reckon?
Yeah, they were a pretty decent team. I just it felt like in the games we played against them, the first game was a lot closer than it was. The second game we kind of just jumped all over them, and then spent the next 20 minutes kind of throwing a lead just to take it back again in the end. But they were a pretty decent team. It's just they weren't at the same level as some of the other teams we've faced against. Like I felt like Team Abfart Snickerdoodle would have been probably second if they actually managed to get their stuff together. But they kind of ended up, I think, losing the mental a little bit and just going rip.
Fair enough. So would you call them a playoff team? Obviously, we've not seen 100C. We've not seen this potential new German team coming in. We've not seen Hentai Haven in the show. Potentially other teams as well. So would you put Serenity Gaming in that top 6?
I don't think so. Like, I'm not sure. I haven't seen Hentai Haven and I haven't seen 100 Cobras, but I'm pretty sure if they would be there, then I think the top 6 is pretty damn stacked.
Fair enough. No shame in that. I mean, I think I called Group C anyway last week about being... First off, I didn't think CSK would get a win, and they somehow beat Checkmate Alpha. God knows how that happened. I mean, if anything, that says how bad those two teams are. No offense to you. Actually, yes, offense to you both. You can be annoyed at me for that one, but I mean, 4-0, what can you do? But that's the big test now, isn't it? Because Serenity Gaming smashed Checkmate Alpha. Phantom Affidity, I don't know how you'd say that game went, but it seemed pretty clean, you beating them.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty convincing, but I can't really say I didn't really care that much. I pretty much was like, I mean, we're not like piggybacked off everybody else, but everybody else got ahead, especially bot lane and jungle, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously were not bad teams since they obviously managed to get where they were, but it felt like, I don't know, it felt like we just snowballed a lot versus them, but I don't know, it just feels like many teams have like the issue of when they get tilted, they pretty much like lose the game, but I feel that, I mean, it was still pretty good. They played pretty well in the early game, but I don't know. I'm just guessing it felt like we were just ahead after at least maybe the first few kills, probably, or third. I don't remember the game at all, but we were pretty ahead, yeah.
That's fair enough. Because it just made me think about group strengths. So obviously, Group C is just such an unknown of how good Centurion are to the rest of the teams that are left. Because obviously the two teams we were with were that bad that I think anyone would have went 4-0. Like even Sonic Game of Pegasus, who were arguably the next worst team, who got smashed by the second seed of Phantom Affidity, or Snickerdoodle, but whatever. So it just makes me think that if the seed 2 for Group A and C are that low, or did that poorly compared to Phantom Affidity, Phantom Affidity and Seven Deadly Sins were quite close. I think in the second game you were even on gold at 25 minutes or something. It was a proper hype game to watch. Which makes me think Centurion and Team Elite relative to you two, we could be a lot worse than everyone expects us to be. On the flip side, I think we're better. So that's where the hype comes in. Easy opponents, you look better, don't you? So it'll be interesting to see. So I want predictions first for the other game. So rather than me predicting for Centurion 7 Deadly Sins, I'm going to predict for Team Elite versus Phantom Affidity. And I'm going to say 2-1 to Phantom Affidity.
Ooh.
I guess I think I don't know. It's going to be one of those things.
Yeah, I think we're close. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but I think I'm going to go 2-1 Team Elite.
Nice.
Sorry, Gandhi, but
okay,
thank you.
Bit of revenge now, Kevin. What do you reckon? Centurion versus 7 Deadly Sins.
I did already earlier say what it's going to be, but
did you?
I think I think it's going to be probably a 2-1, and I'm guessing it's going to go to Centurion.
Nice.
Like, as much as I hate that you put Phantom Affidity above us, I got to give it to you guys.
Fair enough. Fatman, what are you saying?
I don't really know, to be honest. It's I haven't really seen Centurion at all, so I have like no idea at all your play style or pretty much general how you guys play. But I'm guessing it's probably going to be pretty close since some people saw us as a good team, and I mean we pretty much like got demolished by 7 Deadly Sins, so I'm guessing it's going to be close, whatever happens. But I can't really. I'm guessing
give us something.
One. I don't know, I would probably say it's 7 Deadly Sins, but
yeah,
my guy.
Yeah, I do hope though. Even though I said that Centurion is going to win, I do hope 7DS wins because I really want to like play against Arwish. I want to see how that goes.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like not rivalry, but a lot of competition between Team Elite and 7 Deadly Sins. So obviously Lordio wants to play against Harshy, I reckon, and then obviously you against Lordio.
Yeah, Lordio's finally free.
Yeah,
you've got the.
We have I think we did scrim Team Elite a while ago now. And I think in those I can't remember the outcomes of those games, but I think we lost those games. But it was actually. I can't remember, to be honest, but I remember we have scrim, but it was a while ago, so it would be good to see how we face off.
I think the last time we scrimmed was before we had Joe and Lordio in mid. Because I don't think that we've ever faced you guys with Arbush and.
No. Yeah, it was without Arbush, but you had Lordio mid, and I think it was Mojo tops, but it wasn't Arbush ADC, so. Okay. We'll have to see how the new roster matches up if we get through to the last stage of it. So,
yep.
Which we probably we probably will. So it's all good. It'll be a good couple of matches, guys. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
I reckon the biggest question though is, say Phantom Affidity do win, and 7 Deadly Sins do win, it's Group B versus Group B again, and now it was 2-0. It was 2-0 in the groups. Yeah. Do you genuinely think that if that happened, Fatman, and you're against 7 Deadly Sins again, do you see there's even a cat and mouse chance that you're going to win?
I mean, my team is probably going to dislike if I say this, but I mean, to be honest, I think we mainly played against 7 Deadly Sins and when we've like scrimmed and so on, and I think they're unless we like step up and probably win massively against Team Elite, it's probably gonna be a really close game. And I don't even know unless we can like shut down Orbit early, it's probably GG for them. I mean, really GG for us, other than we lose. But I mean, not like criticizing anybody about a team, but I mean, Orbit is just like miles ahead of every other AD carry on this league, pretty much.
Okay. Not very confident at all. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna say, man. I think you're definitely competing for the top 2. I'd put Ryan up there just because he's not had a single bad game for me yet. Nightmare Thor. Obviously, he's not played against some of the best AD carries yet, so who knows? It will be an exciting game against 7 Deadly Sins to see that. But also, I think the big one is Wilbo versus now he's called Simon Ferocious anyway, because I mean Wilbo kind of put you to shame a little bit in that game, didn't he, Fatman? If in that game, don't know whether it's overall.
Yeah, I mean, kinda, yeah, but then also again, I mean, I don't obviously said I don't want to criticize Wilbo, but it feels like his main pick is Aatrox. It's like he usually plays Aatrox. I mean, I haven't really seen him otherwise except for like on Victor, but it feels like it's going to be a lot harder for Wilbo if he doesn't play on Aatrox. But I don't know, since I mean I've only pretty much seen Aatrox or Victor. But yeah,
Gonna defend your boy there, Jack?
I mean, the 2 games speak for themselves, to be honest. I mean, to be fair, he was on Aatrox in one of those games, but the other game he wasn't, so I don't even think he was on Victor that game either, so I can't.
No, but I just remember like from what we scrimmed against each other and stuff.
Oh, like, yeah. But Wilbo's he's versatile. He's I think he can do well on any pick, to be honest. So yeah, although Aatrox might be a staple pick, but I think he's a pretty versatile player, to be honest.
Well, we'll have to say, because I think statistics are just going to Simon Ferocious is just going to blow you to shreds. So I think we can just ignore top, leave it on an island, and just win the rest of the map 4v4. That might be the plan anyway. Maybe. Who knows? I'll let you think about that one.
No leaks there.
I'm all about the double, triple bluff, and you never know what I'm saying if it's true or if it's false. I might genuinely think that we're the 4th best team here. We just got the easiest seed going, and then we're going to just get found out, and then I'm going to quit the team instantly afterwards and rage quit. No, sorry, that was a Schnickerdoodle, that wasn't it? Okay, so final question, and then we'll go for your final opinions. First off, do you think you're going to win? And the second question is, if you do, who's second best? Kevin.
Damn. It all depends on who we see in the finals. I think if it's going to be Centurion, then yeah, we'll beat you guys. If it's 7DS, it's going to be, it might be 50-50, but I do hope we will. So yeah, I think we'll win it. And second place would probably be, I called Centurion, but they will win, so I guess Centurion.
Oh, interesting. So you think we'll win, but you're more likely to beat us. But if 7 Deadly Sins win, they're more likely to beat you.
Yeah, that's how I feel like.
Interesting. It's like fire, water, and grass in Pokemon. Right, I'll go next. I think we're going to win. I think the second best team is 7 Deadly Sins, and this first game is going to be a little bit tough, maybe 2-1. But after that, it's going to be free. Fatman, we're on you.
I don't know. I think we have a good. I think if 7 Deadly Sins and we're against 7 Deadly Sins in the final, I think it's going to be a lot harder, as I've already stated. But I think it's going to be. I think if we're against them in the finals, it's going to be a lot harder for us to win. But I think against Centurion and Team Elite, I think we're going to go pretty evenly. Much rather because of the fact that if I just like play, I usually win lane, or at least like go even if I play carries. And I think the fact that I'm usually pretty okay in like lane. So I'm thinking the fact that and since we already played Team Elite once and we went pretty even, like a week ago I think in Scrim, I went to the 3rd game, but at least like the 2 first games, it was actually pretty even, at least, or both of us took games off each other. But I think it's going to be a lot more close if it's against Centurion and Team Elite. So I think I want to see that if we're against any other team than 7DS, we win. But if we're against 7DS, we lose.
So you're saying 7DS is the best team and you're second?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Jack?
Well, I mean, I would obviously say that we're the best team. So I think that when we beat you guys.
Ooh, fighting talk.
Fighting words.
Nah, it's all fun and fun jokes in the end. But when we do beat you guys, we'll probably be against. I don't know. I think it'll be Team Elite in the final.
I'm saying, well, the question is though, who do you reckon's the second best? So if it was, for example, if you were on the other side of the bracket, would Centurion,
right.
Team Elite,
My bad.
or Phantom Affidity be the second best team?
Second best team, I'd probably go with either Team Elite or Centurion. More so towards Team Elite, just because I've seen them play a little bit more than you guys have at the moment. So
okay,
yeah,
a lot of spicy words, but we'll have to see. So,
yeah.
Any final words before we go? It's been a good podcast, boys.
I mean, not really, except for the fact that people probably are gonna know how to collect now. Since I mean, most people like joke about me being like 12, by the way. So,
Mate, fuck them, man. At least you've got the balls to come on like some people. Endeavour. What?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I gotta do a Hashi free Endeavour. You know, I'm banning.
Yeah. Then you can come back to the team and it's sorted. Kids can go back to the bet. I mean, yeah.
Oh, come on, Kids is finally getting a new PC. Let the boy,
That's
let
true.
him play.
He's finally bought one now. Kids unlocked, unleashed.
I know, right?
It's like Exodia coming off the chains, man. It's fucking sweet.
Oh boy.
Anyway, be excited for the show too when I'm not allowed to play and someone else comes in. Wink, wink. Right, boys. It's been good to have you on. It'll be exciting Monday, and we'll see who makes it to the final. Wish us all luck, except for Jack, and then we'll see how it goes. Been Extra Grove and out. Peace.